Nyawan or lily-pilly are a fruit native to this rainforest. Their purple berries grow high in the branches of massive trees along the creek side. There is a special spot I like to go, deep in the valley where the blue water cascades around huge boulders. Here, the Nyawan trees tower high above. The berries are flowery and soft, and there are many uses for them. You can make a cordial infused with their colour and flavour, or even a bread from the flesh insides. The colour is so bright, and it's one of those colours that you can stare into, mesmerised, wondering where else have my eyes ever been privileged enough to see this colour in nature. Maybe a sunset, a bird's wing, the mist as the first ray of sun beams through it. But the depth is even brighter, more vibrant than the brightest sunrise or feather. I don't think it's like anything else in the world. It makes me wonder, what colours have I never seen before? Even our human eyes can't see a huge spectrum of colour, so there must be shades completely unknown to humans. Or even known to humans. What berries or flowers or coral or fish have I never seen with my own eyes? Never understood the tangible beauty of their colour in front of me. Before I make my way back down the valley and across the big boulders, I cool down in the water. Some of these pools are too deep to touch, and some have waterfalls flowing through rocks. These fruits are culturally significant to this rainforest and its peoples. We live on the land of the Arakwal and Minjungbal People of the Bundjalung Nation. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the country we live on and recognize their continuing connection to the land and waters. We thank them for protecting this rainforest and its ecosystem since time immemorial. For the past week, I've been restoring old antique windows that I found in our shed, and it's finally time to put them in my cabin in the rainforest.
So as cute as this window is, it's completely rotten and it's not really safe. Our dad probably put it in when he built it, and it's an old window frame. It hasn't held up in the weather, and the weather gets in on the new floor, which is not good because that will damage it. So I need something that's kind of able to close. I think this is the moment of truth. I am going to see if the windows really fit. Every time I measure something, I get it a little bit wrong, and I measured this 3 times to make sure that it's the right measurement, but I'm still a bit worried that I could have got it like 100 mil off or something, and then I don't know what I would do because I've restored these windows for so long now. If I've done it for nothing, I guess I'll just use it for something else, but I really hope it works.
These windows were something that my parents collected years ago, and the space that I'm putting them in is a very specific measurement, so I'm really hoping that they fit.
Which way is top and which way is bottom? Which way is front and which way is back? Look, I think that's gonna fit. I think that that's perfect, to be honest. So I think the next step is to pull apart this whole window frame, as sad as it is because it's so beautiful, but it's completely rotted out and it's not safe here, and it's not even that cute anymore because it's just falling apart. So I'm going to pull it away and then put the new windows in that hopefully fit. But as I was just starting to look at it, I found these little strings tied, and they're tied from the window frame to this little bit of wood, and I think it was my attempt a few years ago at trying to save this place, and it's making me kind of emotional because this was all I could do because I had no building skills and I just didn't know what to do, and I knew that these windows were rotting and I knew that this place needed some love, but I didn't know how, and now I'm looking at it through these new eyes thinking, I know how to build, I know how to save this window, I know how to save this beautiful cabin in the woods. I don't know, it's making me feel really proud. Alright, that's the bottom of the window. That is completely rotten and it was just holding on by a piece of wire. So I'm glad I'm replacing it. I think that those bits of string were the only thing holding this window into the window frame, as well as it just kind of sitting in there from expanding from being wet. So yeah, not great. There we go. Not even a screw or a nail holding that in. My next job is to get this big beam out of here because it's in the way. So here I go. Wow. Okay, I've run into my first major problem, which is this beam that sits across here. It sits too high because the flinches that are down here, they're the perfect height for the window to sit in. And that's where the window was sitting. But I need the window to be able to hinge inwards. If it hinges outwards, then that's dangerous because then someone could push on it and then, you know, fall out. You don't want that. So I want it to come inwards, and so this is kind of blocking it. So I'm thinking, I think the only solution is to move this down a few centimeters, so it's not much. It feels a bit sad to mess with my dad's beautiful building work, and I feel like everything in this place has a purpose, so I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to do anything to mess with that, but I think that this is necessary, so I think I just need to unscrew it full and then move it down. I don't think it'll be that hard. There is some sort of insect nest here, I don't know what it is. I don't want to mess with it in case it is a wasp, but I need to get that screw out, so I'm just gonna go for it. This flinch must have never been attached at the bottom, or maybe, oh, I think the screws rotted out maybe, or the wood's rotted out around it. So it just came off with this. So that's not good, but I'll have to put it back in. But firstly, I'll take it off. So I think that from now, I'm going to put this back on in the right spot and then work with this one later, because this one is a problem. It's a big problem. So I'm just going to ignore it for a bit, work out the rest, and then come back to it.
The job of rearranging these old boards would have terrified me not long ago, and it's so cool to see how much I've learnt in the past few months. All of these skills are so new to me, and it just proves that you can really learn anything. Slowly, I can see things that would have been impossible to me become simple.
I think I'm going to move this one down a little bit, but before I do, I'm going to check that it is the right height for the window, because if not, what am I doing? Oh, it's perfect!
I'm a big fan of pushing yourself creatively. A few years ago, I was studying fashion design, and building was a skill that firstly, I never thought I would have, and secondly, I probably wasn't that interested in. Now, things have changed and I have changed. But at the same time, I see how much that brain of a fashion student helps me with these skills. The precision, the step-by-step, the connection of many tiny screws or stitches to make a whole garment or building. They're actually really similar, and I can take teachings from both skills to the other. Lessons are woven into everything though, and you can take little things that you learn in all elements of life and apply them to each other. The goats, of course, teach me how to approach everything with fun. A hill is made to be skipped down, a log is made to be bounced over, a fruit is made to be eaten and enjoyed. Animals search for joy in everything. They never get bored of the same old day. They have skipped down this hill across the paddock so many times, but today they're excited because the guavas are fruiting. Today they're excited because it's not raining and they can explore the paddocks with sun on their back. Today they're excited because it is a plain old day, like every day, and they love every day because every day is filled with excitement and joy. They teach me to carry this mindset through life, not just wandering through the goat paddocks. They teach me to see the beauty of a plain old boring day, to see the magic woven through the repetitive. They also teach me to watch the seasons closely because no one notices the seasons changing as closely as a goat does. They know that autumn's guavas hang heavy on the tree because they can smell their sweet scent drifting across the valley. It guides them to wake early and watch the mist greet the mountains, to wander down the hill and across the valley to their favourite spot here in the orchards with the fruit bursting with colour. They love every time of year just as much as the next because the shifting time just brings new fruit, new grass and new experiences. The sheep paddocks wind further across the farm and the goats are only allowed in half of them because the fences aren't high enough in the other half, and unfortunately sometimes the wafts of ripening fruit are too much for the naughty goats and they will jump a fence to try to get away to a fruit tree. But we are super close to finishing all the fencing so that the goats could be allowed into the big paddock.
So I don't know if you can see these hinges, but they are in the wrong spot, so they're so that the window could open outwards, which is what I guess you'd normally do, but I want the window to open inwards so that it's safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hinges out and then I'm going to, like, it's recessed in there, so I need to extend that this way so that I can get the hinge to flip and be on that side and still sit inwards. So that's my next job. So I've just realized that I don't have a drill bit for this type of screw, so I'm gonna have to use this tiny little screwdriver that I found. And there's 3 in each one, and there's 4 of these, so there's a lot. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I always get confused by that because in some countries it's the opposite, and I never know where Australia's at with. Some things are lefty loosey and some things are lefty tighty. I found a drill bit, everything's fine. That was gonna take me an eternity, but now I'm good. Alright, so I need to indent this a little bit, and I think the tool that I'm gonna use is the handsaw to start. And then I'm going to come in with the chisel afterwards to neatly get it all away. So if I just like really carefully do this. That actually worked perfectly, so now I'm going to do it to 3 more. Hinges can be very confusing, so I'm really thinking about it to make sure that I've got it the right way. So I want this window, that's the bottom, that's the top, to hang here, and I want it to swing inwards. So if I put the hinge, if I put the hinge like that, then that would be it closed, and then that would be, no, that doesn't make sense. So I need something for the window to sit on as I screw it in so that I'm not holding up all the weight myself. And I thought a bucket would be good, and then it was too short. So then I thought a bucket with a bucket on top would be good, but then it was too tall. So I'm thinking a bucket with a plank of wood with some screws, with some other screws on top is almost level. Not really, it's like, it's still a centimetre off, but I'm not solving that problem. I'm so excited about this. Look, closed. open. It only opens there. I knew that would happen because it hits that beam, but I think it's cute. I feel like I need 5 hands for this job. 2 is not enough.
They hung pretty wonky, so my plan is to move the board that they're hanging on and squeeze it across so that the bottom comes closer together. And it actually worked!
I'm almost done now, it's looking so good, and the last thing I have to do is make a window latch. So from this old cute beam that was across the window, I'm going to just chop it here and then put a screw in there, and it's gonna act as a cute little latch. It smells like camper for sure.
This Fairyland latch is a trick that our dad did, and almost all of his buildings have something cute like this that looks like an elf craft.
Okay, close the window. Latch. That's so cute! I think that these windows must have been in an old house that was wonky, and so they were cut here, you can see is quite wonky, but it fit perfectly into this hole like a miracle. I don't even understand how. Like, these measurements, nothing was changed any direction. I moved this down a tiny bit, but that's where the beams were. So, I don't know, it's magical. It's magical that it all fit.
These windows worked better than I could have ever imagined, and they saved the cabin from water coming in and rotting it. This transformation feels like the biggest one yet.
I am so proud!
Thank you so much to our patrons for your support on our journey of planting trees, clearing weeds, and caring for the land.